Today our guest is Glenda Thompson. Glenda is here to discuss her compelling Broken series, which includes the novels Broken Toys and Broken Dreams. These books explore the intricacies of human emotion, the impact of past traumas, and the hopeful pursuit of healing and redemption. Join us as we unravel the layers of Glenda's writing, her character's journey, and how she tackles the very heavy themes of identity, resilience, and legacy in her work. So whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering Glenda's work, you're in for a real treat. Let's get started. Hi, Glenda. Thank you for joining us today here at Fairy Tale Books. To start, could you tell us a little bit about your journey as a writer and what led you to actually write Broken Toys and Broken Dreams?
Sure. I started writing, or scribbling as I've always called it, when I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I've published little short stories throughout high school, college. And I laugh and I tell people that it took me 3 last names to write Broken Toys because it's been a project that has started and stopped off and on for quite a few years. The trigger for the book, my husband's law enforcement. I was a volunteer medic, and so we saw a lot of things and have experienced a lot of things that led to seeing some of the darker sides of people and life.
So that's sort of the genesis of your story.
Yeah, it started. Broken Toys actually started because I had a flat tire, and I came home, and I was cranky, and he was sitting in the living room playing with an artificial hip implant that someone had given him. And he handed it to me, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, I bet that poked the hole in my tire. And a scene just blossomed. Wow. And in the beginning of Broken Toys, how they discover that there is a problem is this cranky old German man calls the cops because he has a flat tire, and travelers had come in and redone his driveway.
Oh, my.
And normally you don't find hip implants in road base.
No, that's not a typical scenario. So your personal experiences reflected somewhat in your narrative in both of these books.
Yes. Bennett County, which is actually a fictional county, is a place where there are a lot of dark secrets. The name of the series is Broken Badges, and it follows a variety of different first responders. The first 2 are Texas Rangers. The third book that I'm working on right now is actually a DPS chopper pilot.
Okay.
But they all they're dealing with the violence and the crime and the negativity that they're constantly around. And yet they also have their own demons that they're fighting. You're
kind of answering questions before I even get them out here. So
Sorry.
You're fine. So how do you handle weaving such an impactful theme into your stories without overwhelming your readers?
I try to think what my kids would think because I know they're going to read them. And my kids are all adults. But I think of, I want them to feel the realness of it. My characters talk to me. No, I'm not schizophrenic that I know of. But anyway,
No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not.
maybe. Who knows? Anyway, these are the people that have lived inside of my head, tapping on the inside of my eyelids, going, tell my story, let me out. And there are a lot of subjects that it's hard to approach. The first book deals with human trafficking. The second one deals with a serial rapist. These are not things that people really want to talk about.
Not your everyday conversations.
Exactly. But they're also subjects that don't need to be swept under the rug.
Certainly.
And I try to make my characters alive. I don't want cardboard cutouts. I want real people. And having worked in these fields and with my husband and known a lot of officers and other first responders, you get a feel for what they've gone through, and you want to try to portray that in a way that makes them human.
So you're dealing with their character flaws and vulnerabilities as part of the actual character development as well.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Very nice. This is what were some of the most significant challenges that you faced while you were writing these books, and how did you address them?
Real life. Just
Because, what year did the first book come out in?
It came out in December of 2020.
I know that you've had a number of things happen in your personal life.
We had approximately 3 weeks before the book came out, my husband was diagnosed with a very rare cancer.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
thank God he's been cancer-free for 3 years. But when they first told us about it, they told me to prepare to be a widow in 7 months.
Oh, my.
They said it's literally 1 in a million. They didn't have a treatment plan. It was all going to be a big experiment.
Oh, yes.
But I have awesome prayer warriors, and
Yeah, very good.
he's cancer-free. So
Outstanding. I did not realize that it was right just before your book had actually come out that had happened. I was curious how you managed to cope with that. Of course, that changes all the dynamics of your life right at that moment in time. So, how did the writing? How did you move your writing process from Broken Dreams from Broken Toys evolve into Broken Dreams? Is that the correct order?
yes, that's the correct order. Originally, Texas Ranger Riding Trammel was my main character.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the main character in Broken Dreams, the second book. I kept trying to write his story and it wouldn't come out because Noah Morgan, the other ranger, was constantly, he just took over.
Okay.
And so I wrote his story first, and then I already knew Ryden, and his story just kind of developed. It wasn't really a conscious thing.
I was going to say, can you, in any way, can you actually describe how, what is it? Do you close your eyes and the stories just sort of start developing for you for these individual characters?
Sometimes it'll be a phrase that I hear or something that I see, mm-hmm. and it just triggers a thought process of, my favorite word is why.
Why? Okay.
And I'm never happy with the first answer to that. I have to go at least 5 levels deep.
Right.
It's why,
like
why,
a child,
why?
But why?
Yeah, but why? Yeah, my kids grew up hearing, but why not? But it could be anything. I can see something, I can hear something, and it just triggers a scene. And then I develop it from that, building on, well, what if, the moon didn't come up tonight and the tides decided to reverse, and, I try to look at how people would react. I guess these characters, I've lived with them so long, they're real people to me.
Certainly. Yeah. But the story and the ending of the story, or how the story transitions from that's not in your consciousness when you sit down first with a pen and start to write it.
Actually, the ending is usually, the last line is usually the first thing I write.
Okay.
It's kind of like having a map.
Okay. And then
I know where I want to start and I know where I want to end up. And then you just kind of muddle through the mushy middle until you get it strong enough to carry the story.
Very good. So what sort of feedback do you get from your readers on your books?
I have gotten a lot of, oh my God, I couldn't put it down. I stayed up till 4 a.m. finishing this. A lot of, they love the characters. And local people love that I weave in landscape and landmarks from this area, even though Bennett County is an imaginary county. Mm-hmm. But it's bordered by Atascosa, and it's bordered by McMullen and Frio, and it's
the netherworld that's right on the edge of all those.
Yes.
Beautiful. So who are some of the authors and books that have influenced your writing, and particularly in the Broken series?
Patterson, Sanford. I love the Prey series.
Okay.
The Women's Murder Club. Those are some of my favorites. And I like Nora Roberts when she writes this J.D. Robb, her In-Depth series. Mm-hmm. I love the characters in that, the way she weaves in the romance.
That's Wendy's favorite series is the In-Depth series.
I grab those as soon as they come out. I've got to have them.
I don't know why. It's like, so there's always got to be a little bit of disappointment. It's like, how long do I have to wait for the other? But of course, she's very prolific, so you don't really have to wait too long for the next one to come out. Are there any forms of media or like film, music, art, or anything that is actually involved in the inspirations in your writings?
A lot of what I do, and it's not necessarily art so much as in Broken Dreams, Samantha, who is Ryden's middle daughter, is a cornet.
Okay.
And you'll see a lot as you read through, about how to set the time in on an Opel GT. I learned how to change an engine in a 1970 Ford F100 reading the Chilton manual.
Mm.
So there's a lot of myself woven into these books, things that I like to do and different things that I've experienced that make things a little different. I have a jambalaya recipe that my husband swears is the reason he married me. And it's woven
I would
into
like to
Broken
taste
Toys.
it. I love jambalaya. Let me get jambalaya.
we call it the pita dish because it's got like 8 different meats in it.
Oh, very nice.
But I try to weave bits and pieces of real life into stories, things that I've experienced. Craig tells me all the time I have adult onset ADD. I jump from project to project. I mean, I have done ceramics and photography and fused art glass and, jewelry making. And
we all are guilty of some of that, I'm sure. I know I am, definitely. But it's all part of life's experiences. It's the tapestry that we weave that is our life story, right?
Exactly.
Oh, beautiful. So if you had any suggestions on aspiring writers who want to tackle serious, complex themes like your work, what would you suggest to them?
Trust yourself.
Okay.
I talk to people that want to write all the time, and I'll ask them, are you a writer? And the answer I hear is, well, maybe, kind of. No. Are you a writer? Yes, you are. Mm-hmm. Embrace it. Mm-hmm. And I call my first draft the vomit draft because literally words spew onto the page.
Okay.
And then you go back and you fix it. So don't let the story intimidate you. Just,
So you had a kind of unique position when you were writing this, and you're writing it from different points of view in law enforcement and actually on the scene type of experience that you had. So not everybody who's going to be writing a book is necessarily going to have a life experience like that. If somebody wanted to actually develop characters that reflect the deep and sometimes difficult narrative of a character, should they try to go back on what they know, or is research a better way of approaching it, or?
Both.
Okay.
Talk to people. I have not met a police officer or first responder yet that didn't love to share their stories.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially in small towns.
Yes, especially small. Firefighters, volunteer firefighters have the best stories.
Yes.
I mean, but
they're good people too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they have to be. I mean, they're leaving their job in the middle of the day to go unpaid to go
save
put themselves in danger.
Life, yes.
But even in your bigger departments, they usually have someone who's designated to talk to people, a PR type person.
Right.
Read. The more you read, the more you learn.
Reading is essential for an author. You can't write unless you read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you can't read too much.
True.
Just ask my Kindle. I read 647 books last year. But no, it's talking to people. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they can't answer it, they'll tell you, but they're not going to bite your head off. That, as an introvert, was one of the hardest things I've had to learn.
Yes.
Because I'm a hermit.
You don't come across that way, but I do understand. Yes.
This is my mask.
My wife calls me the worst introvert that she knows. Yeah.
It helps that my husband doesn't know a stranger, and he'll talk to people, and I'll make notes.
That's good. Good, kind of a wingman for conversations.
Yes. He's my partner in all things.
So do you have any future projects that you're working on? You care to share any details about that? Is there any more in the Broken series coming?
There is. The next book in Broken Badges series is Broken Wings, and it follows a DPS chopper pilot who was former military, and while he was on deployment, his sister vanishes. Mm. And he comes back, and he's trying to use the resources of the DPS to try to find her or find out what happened to her.
Okay.
There's some gaslighting. There's some people trying to make him think he didn't see the things that he really did see. That's next. That's going to be Broken Wings.
Is this still built in the same county?
Same county, same world, some of the same characters. As a matter of fact,
would I want to move in this county, or is this like Murder She Wrote? Don't ever go to a party that she's attending.
well, I don't know that I would want to live in Bennett County. It's a little rough. Has some dark corners.
Very nice.
And then on a totally different note, different genre, under a pen name Ada James, I'm working on a fantasy romance with a group of 9 authors.
Oh, nice.
We're using a shared prophecy. The story has to include a curse that gets broken, and it has to have an ending. Doesn't have to have a happy ending, but it has to have an ending. It's not going to leave you on a cliffhanger.
Very good.
And it's fascinating seeing how all these, there's 9 of us, and all these different minds take this same prophecy and twist it in so many different ways. It's just, those will be out in September.
Okay, is that out of the San Antonio?
No, this is actually an international group.
Oh, wow.
It's, we're online friends, and the series is called Of Dusk and Dawn.
Very nice.
It's
okay. So where can listeners of this podcast find out more about your books and you? And do you have a website?
I do have a website, rattlerpress.com.
Rattlerpress.com, like the snake.
Yeah, mainly because every time I turn around, my husband's killing another rattlesnake at our place.
That happens, yes.
And most of them are longer than I am tall. I also have a Facebook page, Glenda Thompson, author. The books are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, just a variety of.
We love talking about books here at Fairy Tale Books, so if you would like to get a copy, we have a few of them on our shelves here as well. So, well, thank you very much for coming out to the store today and doing your signings. Did you get a good number of people come and look?
It was wonderful. Thank you for having us.
We're very happy to have you. We hope that you come back. I think we may still have another space next month. If you want to come in again, that would be great. If not, understand.
I'll have to check the date. Between April and June, we've got a grandson graduating from AIT boot camp. We've got birthday trips. We've got a writers' conference in Missouri in June.
Oh, very good. Very busy.
Yeah, Between the Pages is the writers' conference. It ought to be interesting.
Oh, very good. Well, again, thank you very much, you and your husband coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.